and welcome back to another Paul Vincenti International Training session. Today we're talking about probing. Now probing is something that you do right at the beginning. Right? Wrong. It's at the beginning, halfway through, and at the end of the sale. Why? People's needs and wants change. Many agents start to probe at the beginning or the qualification stage, and then they forget to probe for their changing needs and wants over time. And we all know, if you've been in this business long enough, that people's needs and wants change. So what is probing? Well, probing is essentially if you want to uncover their needs and their wants. Now, what is the difference? Well, I may need to fill up my car with petrol, but I may not want to. So there is a distinction between the two. You need to know what are the needs, what are the wants. People buy property generally for both reasons, but the needs are the most essential. The wants are the icing on top of the cake, the wish list they wish they could have on top of the budget which they've got. So these are probably more fundamental, more important to you as an agent, though don't discount the wants also. You need to also discover in the probing stage, that's throughout the beginning, throughout the entire sales process also, the trigger areas. Now, trigger areas are people's fears. Fears of not buying or finding the right property. Fears of not using the right agent if they're looking for the right agent when they're interviewing you to choose whether you should sell their property or buy property through you. So the trigger areas basically are deep emotional triggers that later on, if you remember them and you press on them, what will happen is people will listen to you more. So how do we uncover all these needs, wants and trigger areas? Well, basically we use open and closed-ended questions. Now, open-ended questions, if you don't know, basically open people up. So we call them the 5 W's, though some people discount that. Who, what, why, where, when, and how. In fact, the H, how, isn't a W, but it sounds like a W. So you ask them the who, what, why, where, when, and how questions, and listen actively, and get all the information in. You may want to jot things down as you listen actively, just so that you don't forget. The closed-ended questions, however, confirm what you've heard, or they request specific information, such as, so when would you like to buy a property? When's the latest date, January or February? It's a closed-ended question. They can only give you one answer. So it affirms or specifies or highlights information which you specifically need. There is also another question, which in a conversation people rarely realize that you're using. It's called the echo question. Basically what you do is you echo back to the person what they've said and pause. So in a conversation I'd go, so you said you'd like to find a place by the sea? Pause and wait. As you pause and wait, after repeating back or echoing back the question, they go deeper into what they meant by it. And you just simply sit back and listen. As you're listening, of course, remember all these needs and wants and keep on doing this, as I said before, throughout the entire process, even just before the contract is signed, because these do change. Remember, of course, the fundamental rule of sales that people decide to buy emotionally first, and then they justify their purchase choice or decision with logical arguments. So that's another Paul Vincenti International Training session. Hope you've enjoyed it, and always remember, success is defined not by just what you achieve, but by what you overcome also. Thank you.